All right, good morning, you guys. It is Friday, like day 50 of quarantine here. It's good to see you. We're going to do a mat workout this morning. So we kind of need the normal stuff. You want something to lie on, a little space around you so you can move your arms and your legs, a block or a ball or a rolled up towel or something for your inner thighs, and maybe some sort of weight for your hands. Okay, we're going to lie back and not use any of that right away, just have it near. And do some breathing. So as you lie back, it can be your choice whether you bend the knees or stretch the legs out long. Do the thing that allows you to relax and doesn't cause the low back to tuck or flatten toward the ground. Just get this feeling of spreading out. Inhale through the nose. Very gently rounded lips as you exhale through the mouth. Keep that going, inhaling through the nose. Gently exhaling the breath. As you continue here, I encourage you to keep the eyes gently open. Soften your focus, but definitely see the space in front of you. Take in light through your eyes. Continue breath in and breath out. Feeling that the whole body is responding to this breath, either with awareness or direct sensation. As you feel the breath in the back or underside of the body, you feel its relationship to ground through your contact points, allowing yourself to become a little heavier, to soften a little bit more completely, to spread and rest into the surface of the floor underneath. Have one or two more of these rounds of breath. Inhaling and exhaling counts as one round. And then when you're ready, if your legs are straight, go ahead and bend them so you can put your feet flat on the ground. Rest the weight of your legs into the feet and back into the hips. We'll begin a round of imprint and release here. Inhaling through the nose in preparation. And then Kegel. Begin your exhale, and about a third of the way or half of the way into your exhale, contract the lower abs inward and draw the front of the pelvis upward. That'll cause your low back, your low spine to stretch and drop toward the ground. Stay in this imprint position as you inhale this morning. Then Kegel, begin your exhale here. And as you continue through the end of your exhale, release your imprint. Allow the abdominal contraction to lengthen or subside as you return to neutral pelvis. Prepare with an inhale. Kegel. Exhale. And build that exhale into your movement. In your imprint, pause and breathe in. Take the inhale all the way down through the back of the pelvis. Kegel, exhale, and return to neutral. We're being precise and gentle this morning with this. Do 2 more repetitions, moving only on the exhale. Last repetition. Keep your imprint, please, rather than releasing it. And then, pardon me, with your imprint steady, Kegel and exhale, lift up onto the point of one set of toes. So the other foot is flat on the ground. We're going to lift this single leg into tabletop, exhaling, bringing the foot off the ground, keeping the toes pointed. And keeping imprint and balance through the posture as well, we're going to do some hip release, which is really just kind of a mini one leg circle On your inhale, take the leg out to the side slightly. Exhale, move it down. Bring it back toward the midline and draw it up. So we're making outward circles. Do 4 total, please. A full breath cycle to complete each circle. Last couple. When you've completed your last circle, begin 4 more in the opposite direction. We're on the same leg. Steady in your imprint. Inhale as the leg crosses the midline. Exhale as it moves down, opens out to the side, and back up and into where you started from. Just a couple more here. When you've completed the last one, hug this tabletop leg in toward the chest and slide your other leg long down the mat. Right. So continue to hug the tabletop leg in and maybe open it out to the side a little bit. Right, so you get a stretch for the inner thigh. Feel that the pelvis, which is most likely in neutral now, is still balanced rather than tilting. And then we're going to deliberately twist from the waist as we bring this tabletop leg across the midline over to the opposite side. Your hip will roll off the mat. Try not to let your shoulder lift, so that will determine how far you go into twist. And do you feel like both halves of the pelvis are moving in a coordinated way? Hold the twist, breathe in and breathe out, move your head around. And then guide this bent knee back to center. Put the foot on the ground, and bend your straight leg. We go into an imprint again on an exhale, kegling, breathing out, and then contracting the abs inward, drawing the pelvis upward in front, dropping the spine down and back. This time on the exhale, you come to the point of the other toes, the other foot. And then keeping the shaping of the foot and the action of the muscles in the lower leg, exhale, lift the leg to tabletop. We'll do this little mini leg circles. Inhale, opening this knee out to the side. And exhale, taking the leg down across the midline and up. And beginning again from where you started. Now this is a bit of work to maintain the spinal posture and the connection that supports it, but you want that work to be in the muscles of the belly. Please reverse after 4, rather than gripping the muscles in the hip. Muscles at the hip available to move that leg in the joint, as the muscles in the belly and the core are available to stabilize the spine. When you've done your last circle, 4 in each direction, hug the knee in. And don't rush, I'm watching you, so I'm seeing the screen here for timing. When you've got that knee hugging in, you can give it a little shake or a little squeeze, and as you like, slide the other leg long. When you're ready, you can take that bent knee out to the side if that stretch feels good for the inner thigh. Both hips flat to the ground here. And then bring the leg across the midline. As it goes to the other side, that hip is going to roll off the ground. You allow the pelvic calves to go with each other rather than fighting each other. The shoulder stays back. You just breathe here for a little bit, maybe moving the head around, maybe circling the shoulders gently. Another breath in. And then exhale, help this leg back. Good. And put both feet on the ground. So bend the knees and put a ball or something, maybe a yoga block, between the knees or the feet. We'll be moving into hip rolls. So it's like a giant imprint that goes all the way up and comes all the way back down. We'll be in neutral at the bottom as we start and neutral in the top position. Prepare here by simply inhaling and feeling the feet spread into the floor. Pay attention to the big toes, and from there, Kegel, exhale, begin to squeeze the ball lightly as you make your imprint, starting your spinal movement. Maybe take another breath, and as you exhale, the pelvis continues to roll around the axis of the hips as more and more of your spine lifts from the mat. You're using the bottom of the feet into the floor from the back of the legs and the bottom of the hips to lift fully into your neutral bridge. Inhale here, take the breath down through the back of the rib cage and pelvis, and then Kegel, exhale, and return to the mat a vertebra at a time, using your legs to support your body weight and your spine and core to support and guide your torso. Inhale at the bottom. Feel your toes begin to squeeze the ball. Kegel, exhale, and roll up again. Nice and liquid through the motion of the spine. Soft across the axis of the shoulders, deep through the chest. Exhale and roll down, no pinching into the neck. Beautiful, guys. One more time, please. Prepare. From your feet, find your core. With your core, move your spine. Breath in at the top. Feel the three-dimensionality of this inhale. And exhale, roll it down. Good. Once you've rolled down, settle into neutral. And as you have a breath or two here, maybe grab weights if you want to use them for the arm work. We'll extend the arms forward. If you don't have weights, for this triceps exercise, just make little fists for me. Right. So with your weights, you'll have your grip functioning to hold on to the weight. Even without the weights, I want you to find your grip, your forearm strength, and focus on putting any effort there rather than in the neck or gripping in the shoulder. Okay. Extend the arms forward, please, to the ceiling. Have the inside of the palms and elbows facing you. And then just once, stay here, exhale, lightly retract the shoulder blades, feel the chest opening, firm your grip strength. And then inhale, keep the neck soft as you bend the elbows, dropping your fists back towards your shoulders. Squeeze your fists and Kegel. Exhale, straighten the back of your arms. 3 more, exercising the triceps in this way, warming them up, inhaling to bend and exhaling to straighten. From the feet, continue to engage inner thighs, and from inner thighs, cue or support the Kegel. And when you've straightened your arms the last time, leave them here for your inhale. We'll Kegel, squeeze the ball or block, and on the exhale, slowly stretch the arms back. Right, allowing an opening, a lengthening through the back of the armpit. Hold here and inhale, draw the breath down through the bottom of the side ribs from your Kegel. Exhale, return with the arms. Prepare with a breath in. Exhale, reach back. And then waiting until that next exhale, return, building core as you reestablish your shoulders. 2 more, please. Yes. Last repetition. Feel how steadiness and ease in the shoulders depends upon the positioning and support for bottom ribs. That way we're not cut off in the middle. Bring the arms all the way down by the sides. Slip your hands under the back of your head. And we'll continue into some upper body flexion. So it's ab prep. Move the elbows in and out just once or twice and get comfortable in the spacing of the shoulders. Inhale, lightly engage the throat to nod the chin downward without compressing the chin into the chest. And then Kegel, exhale, and bend forward from the waist, flexible in your rib cage, firm in your abdominal connection. The ribs slide together and down at the bottom front edge. Inhale, Kegel, exhale, and lengthen back into the mat. Good. Inhale, nod the head. Again, a light toning for the muscles of your throat. Relax your shoulder tops. And exhale, bend forward. Core helping to steady and support both the movement and the neutral position of the pelvis. Exhale to lower. Please continue through 3 more repetitions. We will today, later on, do a faster version of this ab prep. So work out the particulars of it here, last repetition or 2. Feel comfortable in the flexion and steady in your core. And once you've lowered your head back down, come onto hands and knees. And from that position, we'll do a couple of cat stretches. The other day, we did our cat stretches, initiating the flexion from the usual direction, which is bottom of the spine upward. But then when we returned to neutral, we initiated that movement from the top of the spine downward, right? So sort of like an out and back running course or biking course. We'll do that again today, and I'll cue it for you here as I demonstrate. So of course, you've got your weight centered. You're in a neutral spine, and you'll have an exhale in place, unlocking the joints as you support your length. Inhale, and on your exhale breath, begin at the bottom of your spine and flex, making your imprint initially, bending through the waist, the bottom of the ribs, allowing the upper back to curve, the head drops. Inhale here. Now exhale, start with your chest, your head and your shoulders as you level and return to neutral. Feel that wave rippling down the line of your ribs into your waist and out through the sitting bones. Then inhale, continue the opening of chest and shoulders as you extend upper back. Exhale, release. And in neutral, take a breath, preparing to begin again. Kegel, exhale, start at the bottom of your spine to round forward. Allow the shoulder blades to slide apart as the head hangs and the back of the neck releases. Inhale. Now exhale, keep the top of the shoulder blades wide as you gather the bottom, lengthening, leveling the neck, the waist, the hips, and then inhale, extending upper back with that shoulder blade action. Release, and do 1 more complete repetition through the movements. Remember, the spine goes up into the head, so let that neck curve, right, cooperate with the rest of it. And when you finish this repetition, lie down onto your belly, have your elbows bent, and from prone, we'll do some upper back extension. So really just a continuation of that extension we were doing in cat stretch, with a little bit more stretched position through the legs. Because we've got this hip extension, use it. So pull through the length of your legs to add a little traction of the pelvis out of the low spine. And it'll help keep it out of compression as we extend the upper back. So your elbows are close to your sides, but your hands are far enough apart that your shoulders aren't squashed. Press into the tops of your feet, lengthen behind your knees and through the front of the hips. Kegel, exhale, release the crown into length, and begin again to slide the bottom of the shoulder blades down and then toward each other, spreading and opening the shoulder tops and chest as you extend the upper back. Inhale here and exhale to lower down. Prepare with a breath in, stretching through the legs, releasing through the crown, starting to slide the shoulder blades. Grow the top of the breastbone, reaching forward and upward, forward and upward. Position of the shoulders coordinating with the position of the rib cage. Inhale and exhale, lower down. Do 2 more repetitions. Feeling the length and the pull of the legs and the reach of the tail down the line of the legs. Good, you guys. 1 more, please. And then return. Please sit back into shell stretch. So not a lot of extension here, and just a little bit of warming up of the shoulders. All right, rounding forward, either sitting on your hips and making that round shape, or sitting on your heels. Have another breath or 2 here, and you can make little movements through your head and your shoulders, or shift around a little bit on the mat. Address any tight areas. When you're ready to leave this position, center off, and then walk your hands in to roll yourself up. And turn over and lie down on your back, please. We'll do some work in tabletop here. But we will start just from that supine position with the knees bent and have a couple of breaths. So reorganizing in our sunny side up position. Inhaling and exhaling, allowing the flow of the breath to reach down into the deep part of the belly, as well as lift up through the height of your crown. Now try to feel an unimpeded pathway for the breath, so it doesn't get stuck in the low back or the bottom ribs or the base of your neck or the center of your chest, right? So like a stream of water, the breath should feel like it can flow through. And also like a stream of water, when you bend that pathway, it doesn't necessarily cut it off, right? So as we prepare for flexion here, remember to keep that unimpeded pathway or channel for the breath. Use that now as you exhale and make imprint. And once you've gotten your imprint, we'll stage it through the point of each foot and exhale, bring a leg to tabletop, lifting the heel, the ball of the foot, finally the tips of the toes. And then other foot the same, exhale. When the legs are up, squeeze the knees together. And as you hold this initial tabletop position, inhale length down through the back of the pelvis. As you exhale, length up through the crown of the head. We start very simply with arm raises here. So we'll extend the arms forward. And this time we use just a 2-breath pattern. Open the shoulders, neutralize them with regard to the top of your ribs, and prepare with an exhale as you squeeze the thighs and engage your Kegel. On your inhale now, stretch the arms back, maintaining connection through bottom of the ribs. Now as you exhale and return, maintain length through the crown. Do 3 more, please. Reaching back on inhale. Exhaling, and then beginning your movement as you finish that exhale to return 2 more times. Yep. As you return from this last one, put your arms down. We'll keep the head down and do just a single thigh stretch, so in between the harder things. So start with your knees hugged in, and on the exhale, stretch one leg long. Still imprinted, still balanced through the pelvis. Inhale, bend that knee, and exhale, switch. And you take it on your own breath pacing. We do 3 or 4 to each side, allowing the front of the hip to open, allowing the lower back to release down to the mat. Maybe finish the set you're on and do one more. And when you've completed both sides an equal number of times, hug the knees in briefly. Feel the release of the low back into ground. And then Kegel and exhale and pull your low abs in toward the back of the mat, drawing the belly wall away from your thighs. Exhale, press your thighs into tabletop. Once you're there, hands go behind the head. Nod your chin to your chest, and it's ab prep again. Exhale, lengthening through the spine, then bending through the ribs. Inhale at the top. Exhale to lower. Continue, please, nodding with your inhale, exhaling to bend forward. Breathe in at the top, taking that breath down through the bottom ribs, and then exhale from pelvic floor as you lower. Now, the next time you come up, we're going to stay there and do a little bit more of that faster or more dynamic flexion. Inhale, come just a little bit higher, and then exhale, lower halfway down. I know it's backwards breath. Inhale, come up again, breathing into the bottom of the back ribs. Exhale, lower an inch or so. 2 more. Inhale, coming up, and exhale. And 1 more. Inhale. Exhale, roll it all the way down. Keep your head on the ground and keep your imprint, please. Lower 1 foot to the floor. Let the bottom of the foot fully settle and keep the other leg in tabletop. And we're going to do some pulses, returning to the normal breath pattern as we flex forward and dip and lift the single leg. So bottom foot is on the ground, top foot is pointed, and that inner thigh is in line with inner hip. We nod the chin to the chest, still imprinted. Exhale, lengthen and bend forward through the spine. Now listen, keeping your core, inhale, lower the upper body halfway and dip the tabletop foot toward the mat. As you exhale, bring both ends up. Inhale, lower through both ends without resting, weight fully down. And then from your center, exhale, lift it up. Continue here 5 more times on this first side. That's it, you guys. Start to feel a rhythmic interaction of the breath with the movement. An easy glide of the leg in the hip. A stretchy flexion through the middle, back, and waist. When you've done your last one, you'll simply exhale to return all the way to the floor. And once you're there, release to neutral for just a moment, right? So in neutral, have a couple of breaths in and out, letting that breath again move down into the lower part of the belly and the lower part of the back. You can move your shoulders a little bit, move your head, maybe turning it side to side. If you've got a lot of jaw tension, open and close your molars. Ah, yeah, it's not pretty, but it works. And then we prepare to do the other side. Same thing. Exhale and make your imprint. Once you're steady and comfortable in your imprint, exhale and lift the other leg to tabletop, staging through the point of the foot, keeping that foot and lower leg active as it lifts. Hands behind the head. We won't do the extreme run up into this one that we did to the other one because we know what we're doing. We've got our body prepared. Nod with your inhale. Exhale, stretch and bend forward, keeping pelvic floor engagement. And then inhale, lower both ends halfway down. From your center, exhale, reach your ends forward and upward, and then back down. We do 5 more. See if you can feel the back of your body stretching around the shape that you're creating with a contraction in the front. 3 more. Good, you guys. And same as for side. When you complete, you exhale and allow yourself to lower all the way down. Once you're down, stretch out for a moment. Have some breaths in. So we are going to intersperse our flexion work with some extension. Roll over onto your belly and make a prone position, leaving your arms down by your sides. So now we do breaststroke prep number 2, or dart. And this is that one, man, you want to feel like you've been shot right out of a cannon. Yeah. Stretch your legs, of course, and lengthen through your waist and your hips. Once you've got that, we'll inhale and lift the arms along the sides, lining up in a neutral place from the tops of the shoulders through the palms of your hands. Now exhale, again glide the shoulder blades, contracting the muscles at the bottom of the angle, and lift the chest. Hold, inhale here. Exhale and lower. Release your arms and shoulders forward. Inhale, place the shoulders consciously, opening the chest, lifting the arms, stretching the fingers. Exhale, come into your extension, hovering, lifting the back of your heart, opening the top of your chest. Inhale, exhale, and lower. Do 2 more, please. Yes. Crown reaching away from the toes. Arches working, inner thighs, pelvic floor, core, and lower. Now allow the arms to relax forward. We're not quite done here in this prone position. Have a breath or 2 though. And then we'll eventually put the hands under the forehead. In any case, we're going to leave the upper body down or resting, and we'll do hip extension rather than spinal extension. Yeah, so to that end, stabilize in particular your pelvis so that when you extend the hips, the low back doesn't initiate or go along for the ride. We'll do both legs together. Pubic bones forward into the mat, front of the body settling without collapsing. Inhale, Kegel, stretch from inner thighs through tips of toes and lift the back of both legs, long behind the knees, firm in the thigh muscles. Hold, inhale, and exhale, lower. Isolating the movement to the hip joints, prepare with an inhale, stretch and Kegel, exhale, lift the legs as you release through the length of your spine. Exhale and lower. Now the next time we lift the legs, we're going to leave them there and go into just a version of swimming prep. So get your core, breathe out fully, stretch and lift both legs. And for just under a minute here, we do a slow flutter kick with the legs, not wagging your hips or your head. Just gently with the legs, nice and quiet in the low spine and pelvis. Nice and soft in the base of your neck and top of your shoulders. Now we got about 30 more seconds. You can play with the rate of movement. You can make it quicker if you like. You can make it gentler, larger, smaller. Good. 15, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, still the legs, stretch longer, soften your jaw. Kegel, exhale, lower. Good. Now please sit back into shell stretch. Good work, you guys. Sitting on the heels or on the hips, round deeply. Before you embellish or stretch anything extra, take a couple of breaths here and specifically target the middle back and the lower back. And then you can move your head and your shoulders around a little. Maybe walk your hands to one side as you stabilize your hips. And then walk them back toward middle and then off to the other side. Go ahead and roll up. And we'll sit up and have knees bent. You can have a block between your feet or your knees if you like. So here's where we often do a half roll back. I'm going to do a kind of half roll back with neck pull front prep. My least favorite name for an exercise ever, because we're not pulling our necks. And it's more like a real jazzed up half roll back. So I'm going to put my block between my feet. We're going to start with our lower spine in terms of movement. This time moving our pelvis around our thighs rather than moving our thighs through our pelvis. Get this out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. And our hands, I'll give you a choice of hand positions. You can have hands at the forehead, which I suggest if your head tends to slide forward on your spine, or if you're stable there, put your fingertips behind your ears. We'll inhale, Kegel, exhale, and start to pull the pelvis back away from the thighs with that contraction of the low abs that lifts the pelvis up in front and draws it down and back. Pardon me. Inhale here. And on the next exhale, we're going to bend forward at the bottom of the ribs through the waistline, curving over, stretching over through the ribs on up through the back of the neck, forehead looping toward the knees. Inhale up. Ready to begin again. Kegel, exhale, half roll back. It's like a giant imprint for your lower spine. As you take a breath here, don't use your neck or your shoulders. Use pelvic floor to draw the inhale down. And then Kegel, exhale, and bend forward through the waist. Bring the chest forward, the shoulders forward with the ribs. And inhale up. Please do 2 more. Kegling and exhaling as you roll it back. Pausing for that breath in, using the correct muscles, and then exhale, bending forward. Lengthening upward. Continuing through 1 more repetition, using your own pace with proper connection. Yes. Feel that whole length of your spine stretching. Get that opening sensation through the outer surface of each vertebral joint. Inhale, lengthen up. And then stretch your legs out in front. Extend your arms open to the side, engaging your triceps. Palms forward. Lift the chest so there's no compression downward into the hips, but lift and square the head. Beginning twist now on exhale, turn from the waist a little bit. Exhale, turn a little bit more. And then exhale, go to the end of your range without scooching your hips or sliding your feet. Inhale, return through center. Continue in the other side, finding your initial twist. Supporting across the shoulders from the center of the chest into the palms of the hands. Feel continuity across the shoulder girdle, and continue exhaling 3 times to twist a little deeper, to grow a little taller, to feel a little bit more integrated across the shoulders and through the spine. Second side. And then please, one more repetition across the sides into twist. Yes. When you've returned from your second side, lower your arms down. We're going to bend our knees and lie on our backs and do shoulder bridge. Please bring your block or a ball or whatever you're using with you. Moving only on the exhale and hinging only at the hips. So I guess we're hinging a little bit at the bottom of the neck as we lift. Keep a solid neutral line from the shoulders to the pelvis. Inhale and spread the feet into the ground. From your big toes, begin to squeeze the block as you also begin your exhale. Kegling as you press the hips forward and up from under the back of the thighs, the bottom of the feet, and the back of your hips. Inhale here, and then exhale, return, hinging. Soften the base of your neck and the roots of your jaws. We do again, preparing at the bottom, inhaling fully, letting the weight settle. From the feet, begin the connection into the legs. From pelvic floor, begin the exhale and the connection into core. And hinge up. Where the ribs go, you're going to take the center of the chest, not pushing it back or straining it forward. Feel the back of the neck lengthening as you get a little stretch at that bottom cervical vertebra. Inhale and exhale. Rest down slowly. Please do 2 more of these, and in particular on the last 2, feel the security and the strength of the hamstrings into back of the hips. Feel the hinging action there without any destabilization of the waist. So there's no hinging or bending at the waist at all. Just a smooth extension through the hip line. Please do 1 more. Yeah. As you rest into the ground, pause for a moment, turn the head right and left or left and right, roll the shoulders. And then extend the arms forward and make fists. Make little circles through your wrists, rolling those fists around in space. Stretching the outer, the inner, and the side surfaces of the wrist joints. And then go the other way as well. A couple more in this direction. And then stretch the fingertips out long, stretch them, reaching them away. And soften. And stretch and reach away. And soften. Do 1 more. Stretch and reach away, engaging your forearms, stretching through your palms. Soften. Bring your elbows back by your sides. And roll over, come to hands and knees. Bring your block with you or your ball. And we'll do knee hover or leg pull front prep. It's another one of those pull prep things that is not descriptive at all of what we're doing. So we're on hands and knees. And we've got the block or the ball between the knees to help with the engagement of the inner thighs. Toes are tucked under. You can be on your fists if the wrists are a little cranky. Right, so you can have that version if you like. Neutral spine, just like we began with in cat stretch, and we're going to keep neutral spine. Without lifting the knees or really doing much of anything motion-wise, Kegel, exhale from the big toes, feel the squeeze of the block up into the top of your inner thighs. Keep that activation, inhale, pull the breath down into the pelvis. And then as you Kegel and exhale, push the ground through your toes and float the knees up just an inch or two. Take a breath, Kegel, feel the low belly lifting in, the sitting bones wide, and exhale to lower. We do two more, preparing with an inhale, softening the neck and the top of the shoulders, firming the bottom of the shoulders, squeeze the block and push the ground to float the knees. Breathe in, and then exhale and lower. Do one more repetition, please. Moving only on the exhale breath. Strong and steady in your length. And exhale, lower. Yes, you guys. Sit back for a moment into shell stretch. And definitely move the head and the shoulders around a little bit here. When you're ready, center off and walk your spine up. And sit up for a moment. Now you might want to grab a blanket or a towel or something a little thicker, maybe even an extra mat, whatever you have. I'm going to use my jacket to put under the knees. We'll be doing our side bend, and we'll be bearing weight on the knees as well as on the hand. So this can be done on the fist or even on the elbow if you like. It's a side plank. And we're going to begin by sitting on one hip or the other and having the knees, in my case, on a soft surface. All right, so recall shoulder bridge, where we bridged up by using the muscles under the back of the hips and the legs. We can't use the feet in the same way with this one, but we can certainly use the back of the hips and thighs as well as the inner thighs. Before we even come up, I want you to, on purpose, just shrug a little into one shoulder. All right, very likely your elbow is locked and your shoulders kind of jamming up into the side of your neck, and your wrist has probably got some pressure in it that doesn't feel entirely great. Come out of that. No, okay. Do that another couple of times. Don't go to extremes, but feel where you're pulling the effort away from your center. And feel where you're pulling the effort to your center. So of course we want to do the latter thing, keeping muscles under the inside of the back of the armpit active, down through the lats, and down into the side of the waist, our connection of that shoulder to our core. Top hand can be on the hip if you like, or down by your sides. We're going to inhale in preparation, opening the chest and setting the tone of the arm. And then on the exhale, use the back of the hips to press the hips forward into the plane of the knees and the hand, and come into a side plank. Right. I shouldn't be looking at the screen. It messes with my head. Inhale here. And then exhale, bend or hinge at the hips. And sit your booty down. There we go. Take a breath. Kegel, exhale, active in the back of the hips and the inner thighs. Bring your weight off the ground and forward into the plane of your supports. Inhale here. And exhale, hinge at the hips. Maintain support for the torso as you sit down. Please do two more from the same side. Exhaling, lifting, taking the hips into extension and supporting on the shoulder and on the knees strong through the sides of the waist. Exhale, steady in the breath as you sit down. And one more time, please. Prepare. And exhale, come on up. Inhale at the top. And exhale, lower. Good. Come off of that arm. Shake your hands out a little bit. You might do those little circles through the wrists again. And of course, we'll swing it around and do the other side too. All right. So I'll do a couple on this side just because it's a little different angle to the camera and it might be helpful. I don't know if that's true or not. It might be easier to see that my hand is on the plane of the knees here and my hips are back, right? So behind my knees. Square it off, find the shoulder. Right? Feel yourself drawing and supporting over your center. Inhale. Exhale, as you squeeze the thighs, extend the hips and lift them forward. Find that long side plank line. Inhale, unlock the elbow. Exhale, hinge the hips back and down. Prepare. Kegel, exhale. Hold, inhale, take the breath down through the back of the body. Feel this again in a three-dimensional way. And then exhale, sit your hips down. Please do 2 more repetitions on this side. That's it, guys. And last one. Exhaling to push the ground away. And rise up. Good. Exhale to lower. Nicely done. Sit up for a moment, right? However it's comfortable. You can bend your knees if you like, or just stick your legs out and hold your hands together. Right? Make little figure 8s through the hands at the wrists. Little figure 8s. You might find you're kind of bobbing and weaving with the motion of the hands. That's okay. Go the other way. Usually the second way is super weird. So if it feels super weird, that's okay. Still do it. And then shake out the hands. We're going to do a spine stretch forward. Yeah, so that means we'll keep, this means you can sit on something as well, because we're going to focus on keeping the pelvis vertical. We're cooling down here. And we want our pelvis to be upright and neutral, even as we flex our upper body forward. So it's kind of a return to ab prep, only we're moving into it from a vertical position rather than from lying down on the ground. So inhale here and feel the back of your neck growing in height as you allow the front of the neck to flex, lightly engaging here. And then soften inner and outer surfaces of the spine as you start to bend through each vertebral joint. Go down as far as you can go without either tilting the pelvis or smushing it. Yeah, smush is a technical term. Inhale at the bottom, feel a steadiness across the base of the hips. And exhale, roll it back up, stacking over that foundation of pelvic floor. Feel the chest opening, the soft palate lifting and moving back, and do 1 more repetition. Inhale, knot the chin. And exhale, spill forward through the spine. Take it down a vertebra at a time until you're at the bottom of where you can go without compromising the low spine. And then inhale there. And exhale, roll it up. Once you've rolled up, separate the legs. You can stay sitting on something if you like. So we're going to do it saw. We don't often do saw, but we're going to do it here. We have a vertical pelvis, and I'm going to give you this view because you want to see what I'm doing rotation-wise. And the legs aren't super far apart, probably not as far as you can take them, but a little bit wide, so you've got a wider base. And we'll, again, open the arms to the side. Mm-hmm. On your inhale breath, twist from the waist. On your exhale breath, turn the back thumb inward and downward and bend forward across the body, reaching for the baby toe of your opposite foot. Inhale, come on up, and exhale, return, both thumbs pointing upward. Inhale, twist the other direction. Turn the back thumb down, and as you exhale and bend forward, stay in a neutral pelvis, stretch the middle and upper back, and also pull the hands apart from each other, stretching the shoulder girdle. Inhale up, and exhale, return, both thumbs upward. Inhale, twist to the first direction. Exhale, start to pull away, hand to hand, as you bend forward over the leg. Inhale up, integrating but also stretching across the shoulders, return to center. Inhale, twist. Back thumb down, exhale. Keep weight in both sitting bones. Inhale up, and exhale, return. Please do one more in each direction, twisting to the first side, and then exhale, bending forward. Keeping that space across the chest and front to back, roll up and return from twist. Inhale, turn to the other side, last time. Back thumb goes down and you exhale, stretch across. Inhale, unfurl, rolling up. And then re-square, return to center. Lower your arms and gather your knees in and hug your arms around your legs, resting your forehead towards your knees. Breathe in and out here, feeling that the breath moves into the spaces between the back ribs. Inhale, breath moving into the lower lobes of the lungs, expanding out sideways. And then exhale, moving upward toward the crown as the bottom of the ribs come in and the energy lifts. Inhale, moving down. Diaphragm expanding outwards, supported by its connection through core to pelvic floor. And then pelvic floor drawing upward, diaphragm releasing upward, the breath lifting. Please do this 3 more times. And you don't even have to think of the anatomical stuff. Just feel the directionality and the flow. That's it, guys. Couple more times. And one more round of breath. Widening across the sitting bones. Settled into ground. Exhale. Complete this with a roll up. Pause for a moment. Relax your legs. Open your eyes and relax the muscles around them as you perceive the light in the room directly in front of you. We're done with class today. Feel the breath travel the length of your spine, inhaling and exhaling one more time. Releasing, exhale, and a sigh. And you guys, nice job. Thanks for dropping in. We'll see you next week.